Hi, a very good evening to everyone. I hope all are here and excited for today, the Lottie Raipur session. It's been very long since we last had a session. And yeah, earlier we had offline and this time online. Thought of like reaching to everyone out there on the city and country. So today, as I hope like everyone on the social, their notification were continuously buzzing for the need of Lottie. So yeah, today we are here. I'll be just say like from on chat like from where you are so that I can guess. And my Lottie Raipur community folks, if you are there, just spam a heart or something so that I can just know you are there. And we'll be starting session in within 1 minute. Just I'm waiting for chat to get hyped. And if you are from Lottie Raipur or any community, just type your city name and say hi. We are very excited to welcome you here for the Lottie Raipur event. Hey, hi Joanne. Greeting from Singapore. We have Singapore's. Let's wait for the two. Hi everyone. Hi Pankhudi, how are you? Pankhudi from Lottie Raipur community. So yeah, I can like guess the few names on the chat. I know that folks. So we are good to see you are here. So I think let's start today event. So before starting, a little about myself. You were wondering like who is this guy on that screen sitting there and just talking. So I am Vaibhav Agrawal. I am currently a associate UI/UX designer at Impulsive Web and also the community lead of Lottie Raipur. You can connect with me for design discussions, for Lottie Raipur discussion, for Lottie Files discussion on my LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out to me anytime you want. I'll be happy to discuss about design with you all. With that, let's start our session with knowing about Lottie Raipur. So, Lottie Raipur is a community which is established from Lottie community itself. So, Lottie Raipur is a community which I have taken the initiative to start, and this community have started to bring the design culture, the motion design culture in my city, and to like to engage our folks on design and to make a very good community. I am a designer myself. I feel the lack of community in my city, so thought of like let's start a community, and luckily Lottie helped me with this thing. Thank you to Lottie. So if you know don't know what is Lottie Raipur community is, so we organize monthly sessions on design, motion design, on Figma, on UI UX, lot of things. You can join our WhatsApp group. We like every day we post something which is interesting about design, or whenever we find something. We also run some awesome like challenges every weekend, so you can join there too. So stay tuned till the event. I'll be soon sharing the Lottie Raipur WhatsApp group link too, so that you can join. So we are the community members who are just together with an initiative to bring the design culture in Raipur, and we are on that. And luck with God grace, this is our second event. The first event went super awesome. All folks' responses were too good. Yeah. So if you are a designer, you need a community. You are native of Raipur, Chhattisgarh, or Bhilai, anything like native of Chhattisgarh, feel free to join our chapter and discuss about design. With that, let's come to Lottie files. So Lottie files, for those who don't know or those are new. So Lottie files is a platform for testing, collaborating, and discovering animations for a community of animator, designers, and developers. You can develop your animation. You can make your posted animations on the portal so that other designers and developers can use. You can deploy your animation, and it can be very easily used with the help of a CDN link. I don't expose that more today because Velmurugan is here, our speaker, who will be speaking more on that. Use cases, like Lottie has a lot of use cases. Personally, I being a designer, I loved Lottie. Like, you can use it for their micro interactions, animations, reactions, in-app animations, infographics, AR/VR animation, social media animation, lot of things. These are very few listed. Everyone knows, like, a box, we are can't limit ourselves. As much as we can think, we can explore and we can do. So it's now time, like, we'll explore today and do some awesome stuff with Lottie. And maybe we can include it here, like later on the next presentation with the use case that. So a small matters is that Lottie has achieved in this. So around 2 lakh plus companies use Lottie files to ship software. Some big names are also too, and we are very happy to work with them, and they trust Lottie because Lottie is a tool which solved a very big problem which all of motion designers were facing. So I don't reveal on that. Will is here. He'll know. So with this, we'll play a very good video to let you guys know a crisp of what Lottie is and get you a taste of Lottie. So yeah, here is the video.
I've got a big fat drum, big fat drum. I've got a big fat drum, pounding some bad. I've got a big fat drum, big fat drum. I've got a big fat. Listen.
Yeah. Clap. You ready? Let's go.
Whoa, that was so cool. Do you guys enjoyed it? Like, I personally myself enjoyed a lot. Like, the sound just given me a kick feeling of like something good will going to happen, and definitely it will going to have. So let me invite, without wasting any more time, let me invite the speaker Well on the stage so that we can get to know. Hey, hi Well.
Hi, Vaibhav. How are you?
I'm good. So let's you take the stage, and the stage is yours. Just
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Hope everyone is doing good. So, all safe during this COVID period. So, myself, I'm Velmurugan Selva. Okay. Having almost 15 plus years of experience in the design industry, worked in different avenues. I started my career as a multimedia developer where I used to create animation for the websites. So, way back in 2004, actually. Then moved my career into graphic design. Then I moved into a motion graphic designer. Now I rested myself in product design. So I'm currently working as a senior manager for UX UI in Reliance Geo Infocom. So where I'm making fintech products. Okay. So nice to meet you. I have dropped my LinkedIn ID over here. You can connect with me. You can discuss with me on designs, product design, animation, no code application, whatsoever would you like to discuss on design. You can connect with me and we can discuss. So today we are going to discuss about the need for Lottie. We saw the video, an awesome video, where it describes the potential of Lottie, and I hope you guys have some fair idea about what Lottie is. Okay, let's go back and understand what is the need, why Lottie becomes a lifesaver for us as a designer, for an animator, and for an developer as well. Hmm. See, I am being an animator turned into a product designer. I know the power of animation and what we can do with animation. But we are lacking on something. So the problem is animation, when we talk about animation, is more of movies, films, and video stuffs. When it comes to product, we have this struggle of implementing it in our products. Either it can be a mobile app or it can be a website. Okay. We don't have any easy way or any smooth way to include that in our build, and there is always a friction between designers, animators, and developers when it comes for implementing animation in it. So there may be a big problem, we would have solved it in small animation explaining it to the user, but when it comes to shipping it in the product, yeah, it's nightmare for us. So it's mostly a hot friction or a debate will happen between the developer and the designer and animator. Okay, then I found this awesome tool way back in 2016 sometimes. Okay, this awesome tool came in Lottie, which made us a cakewalk for us to ship animation within our product. Okay, so today we will discuss about what is the actual problem we had and how Lottie solved it for us. Okay, and why we are calling Lottie as a lifesaver. So animation, we all fascinate about animation, right, from childhood. Okay, so what animation is? Animation is nothing but a sequence of image, okay, which has minor incremental change from one image to another, and that plays in a speed which create an illusion of movement. Okay, and it gives a perception that the actual object is moving, or someone is dancing, or some animal is talking, or some alien is coming into a world. So everything is, when you drill down and have a deep look, it is single frames or images which has incremental change from one image to another. Okay, so that's what animation is, and the change or the speed, how the changes happen by our eyes, we couldn't able to find or notify the change. Okay, so that sort of perception or that sort of illusion we are creating to make believe that something is happening in the screen. Okay, and we all fascinated about it. Okay, so when the first animation came in, okay, the earliest known animation was made in France by 1906, and it's titled as Humorous Faces of Funny Faces. Okay, it's a chalk picture. So how they made it, they used to draw pictures on a blackboard. Okay, and they captured it, and if they created an incremental changes in that, that's how the first initial animation was created. Okay, so then came in our legendary Walt Disney. In the year 1928, he released the first full synchronized animation film named as Steamboat Willie. And still today also we are seeing this Steamboat Willie animation on whenever the Disney opens a new movie kind of thing. Hmm. And why animation? Okay, so when we can able to shoot, or when we can able to make movies with real human characters or with real people, okay, why or where the need comes for animation? Okay, so animation helps us to tell stories. Okay, and it helps us to communicate our emotions in a unique way. Okay, or in a different perspective, or in a different method where we couldn't able to imagine it. Okay, this gives developer the freedom of expressing his thoughts or expressing his emotion in whatever medium he likes. Okay, that's how we got all our animation movies, like starts from Lion King, Tarzan, Jurassic Park, where dinosaur came in, and we saw lion talking in Lion King, and we actually had a emotional bonding with them. Okay, so we created it, right? Even though it is fantasy, okay, it makes us believe that it's happening, and this is the possibility of animation. Okay, so as we say, there is a proverb says that an image can speak thousand words. Okay, when you compare it with animation, animation can speak thousand images. Okay, so for example, if you want to show how a big machinery is working, we can't put in a camera inside it and we can't show it to our users, right? But that is possible in animation. If you want to explain your view audience how our body inner part works or how our heart functions, that is possible in animation. Okay, animations entertain our users, it keeps them engaged as well, it educate them as well, it educates our user. Okay, so animation provides us a deepened visual understanding better than an image, because an image is a static one, whereas animation is a moving object where you can provide better visual understanding about what you want to communicate. Okay, and this is a cost effective method to communicate complex ideas and strategies. Okay, as I said, so even let's take if there is a jet engine, you want to explain how a jet engine works, we can't break down an engine and show how it works, right? So rather than, we can able to make it in animation. Or if you want to express a complex design strategy or a complex business strategy, that can be explained over animations. Okay, so animations helps us to communicate ideas very quickly and with a sharp detail in it. Okay, so if you communicate something over animation, all viewers across age groups, across rationalists, everyone can able to understand it, because it's, you are communicating the uh, information in means of motion. Motion can be understood by everyone, irrespective of languages, irrespective of nationality, irrespective of any differences, everyone can able to understand the motion. Okay, as I said earlier, animation educates us, it keeps the audience engaged, and it entertain as well. Okay, so what are the ways, or what are the types of animation we have? Okay, animations are broadly classified into four types. Okay, so one is the traditional way of doing it, we call it as classic animation or cell animation. In this techniques, what happens, the animator used to draw or used to sketch each and every frame, it's a hand drawn sketches, they used to draw each and every frame, then all those frames are photographed, and the photographed frames are played in a sequence, so that it gives an illusion of motion to the audience. Okay, that is the old era, or in our how Walt Disney animations are came in, so they use manual sketches or hand drawn sketches to create animation. Then once computer came in, we entered into the next era of 2D and 3D animation. Okay, here also we are playing sequence of images everywhere, anytime. So even the contemporary movies, what we are talking about, which we capture in using cameras, everything is frames, and each frame has an incremental change, which gives an illusion that something is moving. Okay, whereas when we compare classic animation with 2D animation, in 2D animation, the images which are presented are computer generated images. It can be either two dimensional, which has only x and y axis, or it can be three dimensional, which has x, y, and z axis. Okay, so all those images are computer generated images. Okay, in our classic or cell animation, we used to hand draw it, whereas in 2D animation, we used to generate images through our computers. Okay, we have different tools, you would have heard about animate CC, we have After Effects, we have 3ds Max, Blender, we have many tools to create all these images. Okay, so that's the second type, which is 2D and 3D animation. The third one is motion graphics. Okay, in motion graphics, okay, all these are motion graphics, also we use computer to create these animation, but in motion graphics, the text and shapes takes significant ingredient of our animation. We use some characters, we use some illustration, but most of the motion graphics will have text, some sort of text is being animated and some sort of shapes being animated, which are mostly used to create a grip or to grab user attention, as how we saw a minute clip when we started with Lottie, right? So like that, so that we call it as motion graphics, where we use text and shapes to create motions. Okay, the the fourth one is stop motion animation. This is also a old technique where physically objects are physically manipulated and photographed to create motions. Okay, when you compare classic animation with the stop motion, in classic animation, animators used to draw the animation, draw each frames, whereas over here, instead of drawing, we use clay animations or small clay models. Okay, and we will physically manipulate it or physically change it. If there is a model, we will if there is a clay model or any sort of a small clay sculpture, we used to modify the shapes, and each shape we used to photograph, and then we will play it in a sequence to create animation. Okay, so today we are going to more discuss on motion graphics and more of UI animation. Why UI animation is needed? Okay, so we discussed, right, the power of animation is simplifying the communication. Okay, so that is the power of animation. We can able to communicate a larger topic, or we can able to communicate a complex concept very easily through animation. Since we have the power now in digital project, we can leverage that power to create or to add motion to our UI elements. UI element in the sense we can have any buttons or list item or even in screens that will enhance user interactivity. When motion comes in, we are fascinated and we are more willing to interact with it. And here we can able to interact when animation is there, that enhance user interactivity with our product. It gives better user experience, so they will feel delighted when they see animation, when they see some jazzy stuff is happening in the screen, and that boosts their experience. Okay, they will like or they will love the product, and it enhance user engagement as well. Okay, since we having some interesting element in the form of animation, that increase user engagement as well. So for example, if you are asked to see an empty screen for a minute, we will get bored. But at the same time, if for that 1 minute, if some sort of animation is happening and that is interesting and it's fascinating, then we will be very likely to watch that 1 minute, right? So it enhances your user engagement, and you won't feel that you are waiting for that time. So animation can helps to enhance user engagement in digital projects. Okay, and we can use animation to guide our users, so where they need to see or how to move from one page to another page, or how to interact with a particular UI element, we can help use animation to guide them. And also we can alert them if there is any change in the screen. For example, if a button state is changed, or if an image is changed, if the content is changed, we can alert them about the change by the use of animation. Okay, and by using animation we can draw user focus to a particular element or to a particular area in the screen. Okay, so if you want your user to focus somewhere, so you can use animation to grab his focus, and it helps you to indicate or connect or create relationship between multiple elements. If there are 3 4 elements in your design, if you want to show the relationship between those elements, you can use animation for it. Okay, so in detail, so what are the types and uses of UI animation? Okay, so we can use UI animation to communicate state changes. For example, if there is a button has multiple stages to it. Okay, a button is normal, how it looks when it is in this default state, or how it looks when a mouse is being hovered to it, how it looks when a user clicked it, what happens when a user clicked it, or what happens when the button is processing something, and how it looks when it is in the default state. To change states of an element from one state to another state, we can use animation. Okay, and if you want to grab user attention, let's take a web page. In web page, it's a huge canvas than a mobile phone, right? It's a large canvas, so you are not sure whether user is putting his attention to a particular element or not. And if you want to grab his attention to a particular element, or if you want to uh, uh, make the user to see a particular area in your website, then you can use animations. So if you see, that's why most the animated advertisements are more effective than your static image advertisements. Why? Because animation is there, some sort of movement is there, that grabs user attention. And we can use animations to provide feedback to our user. For example, if you are making a payment to your friend, and you clicked on make payments, once the payment button is clicked, or a payment is honored, in the back end there is a huge process happening. So they need to communicate with the bank, and they need to communicate with the recipient bank, and fund needs to be transferred from your account to the bank, and from bank to the recipient account. All these things will take some time. So for that sort of time taking thing, or to provide the feedback whether the fund transfer is successful or not, for that communication we can use animations. Okay. And we can use animation to provide a relief or some sort of breathing time to our users. Let's see, if it is a concept rich product, or it takes a lot of cognitive load from your users, and you need to provide a break to him, or you need to reduce his cognitive load, at the time you can show some sort of in between animation that acts as a relief to him, that will ease in his stress, and he can able to continue with his process from the same level of enthusiasm what we had. So you can see this, right? Whenever in Chrome, actually, whenever there is an internet connectivity, we have a small dinosaur where we can play with that, right? So that's a kind of relief we are providing when something went wrong. Okay, so over there in the, so I'm not telling that we need to have some sort of game build over there, but we can have an interesting animation played at the time if something happened wrong, or it is taking more time for processing it. So for at that time we can use animation which won't have, or which won't create a bad experience for our user. They will be feel engaged, or they will be feel that they are connected, or they are still alive in the product, and they won't leave the product as well. And animations helps us to improve the navigation within the app. So how it improves? So for example, if a user is transforming from one screen to another screen, for this transformation we can use animation. Okay, or if he is clicking on a card and the card is being expanded and moved to a different screen, instead of having a cut to cut transition, we can have animations which fluidically transform, or move our users, or they will feel like that they are flowing in the flow when we use animation rather than a cut to cut change in the screen. Okay. And we can use animation to guide our user through about our interface, if it is a powerful tool, or if it is a tool where users needs to um, uh, learn something, or if this is a tool where they want to understand few concept. So we can use animation to act as an interface guide for them. And we can use animation to stage our interface, staging this end. So I'm in one screen, I'm moving to another screen, I have few element in this screen, and there are few element a new element will come in the another screen as well. We can choreograph this. So for example, if you watched drama, okay, in the stage, there will be some audience, they will be move out of the stage in the flow, and new audience or new actors will come into the stage with the flow, right? So those sort of animations we can create, that will have an soothing experience for our users, so they will be more connected, they will be interested towards seeing that. So most of your music player will have this. When you click on an album, or when you click on a playlist, then the playlist goes off, the controls for your music player will come in, and it forms the stage, or it prepares the stage for act. Okay, so these are the different areas in UI where you can use animation. But how to use animation, how to add animation in my product, this is the big question, right? And we are looking answer for this. So there are three ways where you can add animation into your product. It can be so when I refer to product, it can be a mobile app, or it can be a website, okay, or it can be a kiosk, or it can be any digital product. So that's what I'm referring to as product. Okay, how to add animation to a digital product. Okay, we saw movies, yeah, movies or video files which is been streamed through YouTube or any OTT platform, or can be distributed through DVDs or Blu-ray disc, or as video files also. But here we need animation which needs to get into our product, get into our digital product. We have three ways to use it. One is GIF. We can GIF is a raster file format. Okay, it allows us to combine multiple images into one file, which creates a basic animation. Okay, we let's go back and discuss. So what animation is? When we discussed, okay, I said that animations are nothing but a sequence of images combined together to give an illusion of movement. That same applies for GIF. GIF is a raster file format which is created to allow multiple images are combined in one file, so that it creates an illusion of something is moving, or it helps us to create some sort of basic animation. So GIF is one way of adding animations into our build. And the next one is we can use MP4 video files into our product, and we can play our animation as a video file into our build. Okay, and the third one is animated SVGs. Animated SVGs are XML based vector graphics, okay, which are used to make graphics and animation which are rendered in HTML canvas. Okay, when you see GIF, it is an image. When you see video, it is a movie file. When you see animated SVG, it is rendered on HTML canvas. Okay, it is an XML based graphic file format. Okay, so GIF stands for graphics interchange file format. Okay, it is a raster file format. As I said, it's allow us to combine multiple images, and when it played, or when we view it, when we see the sequence of combined images, it creates as an illusion of something is moving or something is happening, some motion is happening, which eventually we call it as animation. Okay, so the advantage of using GIF, it is easy to create. We can pull out Photoshop, we can combine multiple images into one file, we can save it as GIF, done. GIF file is created. It is very easy to create, and the file size is also small. Okay, it is not a, it won't take huge file size. The file size is small, and it supports transparent backgrounds. So no need to have a background when compared to JPEG images. JPEG anyhow we need to have some sort of background. If nothing is there, it will at least take white or black as a background, right? Whereas GIF can be rendered in transparent backgrounds. So if it is a transparent background, then we can able to, it is a transparent background, then we can able to place it on top of any element. So we can use it in different ways rather than having a background image file. Okay, and if the file size is huge, it supports image compression as well. Okay, we can compress it, we can try to reduce it. There are different compression methods available, where we can able to compress the file size of our GIF animations. Okay, and this, to play this or to view this GIF animation, we don't need any dependency softwares, or we don't need any external libraries or any other softwares to view GIF animations. And GIF animation, since it is there for ages, all web browsers, right from the old Internet Explorer to the current web browser, all web browsers support GIF animations. Okay, as like, so now it looks like, so we have GIF, why we can't not use GIFs, right? So it looks like more of positive stuff. It has some negative side of it, which becomes as a barrier for us to use GIF animations. Okay, one thing is, if I'm using multiple GIF animation in one web page, or in my canvas, in my actual real estate, then it will slow down my page load time. Okay, sorry, it will increase my page load time. Okay, so if it is one GIF with a smaller file size, yeah, through internet it can load and it can start playing. But if I'm using multiple images, then it definitely slows down my page view time. Okay, and once a GIF file is created, we can't edit it. This is another big drawback we have. So what we need to do, we need to go back, we need to do the whole process of creating the GIF. We can't edit it easily. It's editing GIF is a still now it's a big problem for us. Okay, and we can use only limited colors in GIFs. Okay, GIFs only supports 8-bit and it supports only 256 colors. We can't go more than 256 colors in GIF. Okay, whereas JPEG has 16 million colors in it. Okay, when it comes to GIF, we have this lag, we can't use multiple colors in it. Okay, and when it comes to shipping the animation or including this animation or rendering this animation in different screen sizes, for example, if you say our Android mobiles having different screen sizes, whereas if in iPhone 7 is smaller size and iPhone 8 has a different size, 9 has a different size, 11 12 has different sizes. So devices are coming in different size and we need to deliver or we need to ship animations or assets to all these sizes as well. When it comes to GIF, we need to separately create assets for each screen size. Okay, for example, if you want to show the same animation in iPhone 7, you need to have a separate image. If you want to show it in iPhone 12, then we need to have a separate image. Why? Because we can't resize our transparent images. Once we resize it, the quality in the edges will go very bad in GIF animations. Okay, so we can't resize it. So if we want to use GIF, then we need to have different assets for different screen sizes. Okay, and we need to ship or we need to embed this animation along with the build itself, so that eventually increase the overall app size as well. Okay, so these are the cons. When you compare with pro and cons, cons are more. That's why we are not comfortable in using GIF animation into our products. Either it can be mobile app or it can be website. We'll hesitate to use GIF because it has a lot of disadvantages of using it. So let's move to videos. Okay, so videos are okay, why specifically mp4 videos? Okay, mp4 is a container. Okay, we call it as mpeg 414 as well. Okay, mp4 is a container. It's commonly used to store video and audio files in it. Okay, along with audio files we can have metadata, we can have subtitles as well. Whatever videos we see in YouTube, OTT, everything is mp4 file formats. And one speciality what we have with our mp4 file format is it is a streamable file format. Okay, so what is streamable file format? See, if I want to show a video to your audience over the internet, okay, so before mp4, what the scenario was, the video needs to completely download into your machine. Once it downloaded, then only you can able to play it. Until it downloads, we can't play the videos. Okay, either if it is in your website or anywhere, you need to download the file into your local machine. Okay, until then we can't play it. Whereas mp4 has the capability of streaming it. Streaming means, so a user no need to wait until the whole video needs to get downloaded. If a portion gets downloaded, then mp4 video will start playing it, and while playing in the background it will start downloading the remaining portion of the video as well. So this is the capability we have in mp4 videos. That's why now over internet, whatever video you see, all are mp4 videos. So what are the advantage of using mp4 videos in our mobile app or in our websites? Okay, one thing is it don't has that quality issue. When it compared to GIF has GIF supports only 256 color, right? And with the 256 colors we can't create or make rich animation, whereas we don't have that barrier in mp4 videos. mp4 videos are capable to deliver rich animations, whatever you want, whatever you think. It can be 2D or it can be 3D, it can be motion graphics. You can make it as a video and that video can be streamed into your product. Okay, no limitation for your creativity. And as I said, it supports streaming as well. Okay, so audience also no need to wait for the complete or the whole video need to get downloaded. Okay, they can watch the video whenever it starts downloaded. Whenever a small portion gets downloaded, they can able to watch it. Okay. And over here also in MP4, if the file size is large, we have compression mechanism to compress the file sizes. Eventually what happens when we compress mp4 videos, we will have some loss in the quality as well. Okay, so these are the pros of using mp4 videos in our product. As well, like pros, we have disadvantages as well. One is file size is high. We can't have file size as like our gif animation. Here file size is too high, and users need to wait for the video to load, even if it is a small piece of animation, small thing. As since it is a streaming format, at least for some portion needs to be downloaded to start playing it. Okay, users need to wait for it. Okay, and user need high speed internet connectivity if you want to stream, or if you want to view a seamless, or if you want to have a seamless streaming experience. Okay, if user are staying in some low bandwidth area, if the internet connectivity is bad over there, then playing video is a nightmare for there also. Okay, and when it comes to mp4 video, we can't resize the video. Okay, this comes to another problem. If we have multiple devices, then for each screen size we need to supply, or we need to have different videos for each screen sizes. Okay, why we can't resize the videos? Even if you resize it for 1%, the quality of the video will completely go off. Okay, and video don't support transparent backgrounds. Okay, this is the biggest disadvantage we have when we thought of using mp4 videos in our mobile apps or in any digital product. Okay, next come is animated svg. This brings in some light to us, so where we are so comfortable of making this. But the problem over here is, this is basically the total animated svg works on mathematical algorithms. Okay, what svg is? Svg is a scalable vector graphics. It's a vector based image file format where we can able to create 2D graphics, charts, illustration, and that can be rendered on our website. So that's what svg. So the intention or the goal for svg is to make lightweight, or to create lightweight images for our users. Okay, and svg supports the ability to change your vector graphics over time. So as I said, this is not pixel dependent. This is images are created on algorithms. We can able to manipulate that algorithm over time. That gives in an illusion of animated effect. Okay, so these are the pros what SVG is. So what are the pros for using SVG? SVG is a vector file format. So when we compare it with the raster file format of GIF or JPEGs, or when we compare it with MP4, this SVG formats will have very lesser file size. Okay, these files are really smaller in size. Okay, and this has the capability of scaling it up or down without even a loss in quality. There won't be any loss in the quality. As I said, here the images or the graphics or the animations are created using mathematical algorithms. It is not pixel dependent. So since it is algorithm, in the real time we can able to manipulate the algorithms. By manipulating the algorithms, we can make changes to our images that in turn as an animation. Okay, so here how the image is created is completely changing. Whereas in animation, in video or GIF, we used to create graphics, but over here it's completely dependent on the algorithms what we use. Okay, so this looks something fine for us to use SVGs in our product, but there are drawbacks. Okay, what are the drawbacks in using animated SVGs? One thing is, we can't use any traditional animation methods or techniques. We can't use it. Okay, here it's completely coded, and we need to code our animation. Okay, we need to know XML or CSS to code our animation, and this is a time consuming process where an animator need to create some animation and give it as a reference to the developer, and the developer, based on the reference, he will recreate or develop it as through codes. Okay, through XML or CSS code. And the designer or a developer at least needs some sort of basic knowledge of XML or CSS, not to animate or even to embed it into a website. They need some basic knowledge of XML or CSS. Okay, these are the disadvantages we have in using animated SVGs. So I said there are three ways to use animation in our product, right? GIF, MP4, and animated SVGs. And all the three has some sort of disadvantages. Okay, GIF solves the basic need of animation, but it has a limitation when it comes to building rich animations or colors or scaling the image as well. It has a drawback. Even though it has some positive side, it has a lot of negative side to it. So we can't able to use GIFs. When it comes to MP4, we can able to create rich animation, but the file size is high and user needs high speed internet connectivity, to stream our videos. Okay, and when it comes to animated SVGs, okay, this is completely diverged from the way of creating animation. Okay, here we need to generate animation either by using XML or CSS codes. Okay, and this is very hard for an designer to turn as a coder or a coder to learn animation. So there are disadvantages on all the three. Then what is the solution for us? Okay, here comes in Lottie, the need for Lottie. Lottie is a JSON based animation file format. Okay, it is not raster, it is not a video, it is not an XML based, it is a JSON based video file format. It helps designers to ship animation on any platform. Okay, just like that, how they ship their static assets like images or shapes or anything, how they are handling other assets, they can able to handle animation also through Lottie. Okay, it acts as an intermediate, actually a lifesaver between designers, animators, and developers. Lottie files actually removes the frictions during our animation. Okay, during animation implementation, just by adding a small Lottie library into our build, we can able to play all JSON files, all animations created using Lottie files. So it looks like Lottie files solves all our problem, but how it works? Okay, so animator, okay, so by using his traditional tools, either it can be After Effects or it can be an Animate CC, by using their traditional tool they can able to create animations. Okay, so we are not touching him, we are not asking him to learn any new things, we are not giving any restrictions or limitations to him. He is completely free and he can able to think on and he can able to create whatever he wants. Okay, so designers or the animator has complete freedom of making his content. Once the content is ready, we can render the animation into JSON file format. In After Effects, usually what we do, we used to render it as a video file. Instead of rendering it as a video file, we can able to render it as a JSON file by using a Lottie plugin. Okay, so the Lottie plugin is available for both After Effects and Animate CC. By using this plugin, we can able to render it as a JSON code. Now what we did, we have converted our moving animation into codes just in click of a button. Now code is available. Okay, so developer are very willing to work on code rather than animations. So what they do, they can embed this JSON file into their product by using Lottie library. Simple. So now what happens? No need to worry about GIF limitation, no need to worry about video file limitation, no need to worry about creating animation using SVGs. We have everything. We have a cakewalk over here. An animator creates his animation on his own well-known animation tools, After Effects and Animate CC. Just by click of a button, he can able to render that as a Lottie file, as a JSON file. And when we give this JSON file to our developer, he can able to embed it into his Lottie files. Okay, so what we are doing here, what are the benefits? Animations are created in traditional methods, in his traditional tools like After Effects and Animate CC, and we are not giving any limitations for his creativity. Animators don't have any limitation, they can create whatever they want or whatever they imagine of. Okay, and they can able to easily ship to their developers no friction between designers, animators, or developer. And no one needs to learn any new skills or no new tools. Okay, animator can just be an animator, and the developer can be a developer. No need to learn any new skills. Okay, and when we compare this with GIF, MP4, or XML, this is lightweight. Okay, the file size is, or mostly the file size will be in KBs. No need to worry about the file size when we generate it as a Lottie file. And we can scale this without any loss in quality. We can scale it up or we can scale it down, and we can have only one asset. I can have one Lottie file which can cater to all screen sizes, because we can scale it without loss in quality, right? When that is available, we can able to cater it to all devices across screen sizes. We can have only one size, and this reduce the turnaround time to create, edit, or embed our animation into any product. So animators creates it, okay, if they are doing in their traditional way. Developer, they are just including it as a library asset, so that is also happening. Okay, so no need to, the turnaround time is completely cut off, and no need to worry about any limitation what we have in GIF or MP4 or on Lottie files. Okay, so we till now saw about what animation is, what are the possibilities of animation in when it in the perspective of UI design, and we discussed about the types of it and the actual use case of Lottie, how Lottie became a lifesaver for all animators. Okay, now let's try to create a small animation, a very small animation, and I'm going to show you the tinge of it. And it's definitely a tip of the iceberg. We can do a lot in a lot of stuffs using Lottie. I'm trying to show a small tip of it, how I'm trying to show how easily we can make it. So I'm creating a simple mm, okay, having a small ellipsis, trying to make a loader animation. Okay, so okay, have my animation. Get this. Mm, make it small. I hope you can able to see this. Okay, okay. Yeah. See, we have created a short animation. Okay. So don't worry about animation is very bad. Okay, I just want to show you something. So how an animation is created. See, I'm just going into my Lottie files. Done. So I'm uploading it to Lottie. Oh, it's taking some time. Please bear for it. Let me check this uploader here. So once uploaded, we will get it over here and done. We can download it as a JSON file. Let me see whether this is done. So, sorry, wait. I'm downloading it from here as Lottie JSON in desktop. Done, saved. We can my Lottie uploading it. Got it. We got our animation, and from here I can download the JSON of it. Let me show you. See, this is the whole animation is being created as codes. So any developer can use these codes to include this into our build. Okay. So guys, that's it for today. We come to the end of the topic. I hope you have enjoyed it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was an awesome session. I hope folks on the chat enjoyed a lot, as like me at the backstage enjoying, and especially the last when you created that animation. Wow, that was looking so sick. And same like we can upload it to Lottie and then we can get the JSON and lot insiders about animation. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
yeah. So folks, now we are open for the Q&A. If you have any doubts, anything which you wanted from the last 30-40 minutes to ask from Well, it's now time. Just ping on the YouTube and YouTube chat and we'll take them. And we also have some of your queries which you folks have sent us over the form link that we have sent. So we'll be having that too. So we'll be just waiting. We'll be starting with that, and yet at same we are we are looking on the chat itself. So just ping your doubts. Don't hesitate. It's the time. Well is here. Ask anything you have related to animations, Lottie. So yeah. So well, I got this question from I think around 2-3 folks when we were like we sent the form to them. What type of animation can I create using After Effects and Lottie? Like, what is the possibilities?
So we discussed in the session, right? So you can create animations. See, I'm not once again listing it down. Okay, it's based on your own creativity. Lottie has very minimal limitation. Okay, and when it comes from UI perspective, that limitations are nothing. We can ignore that limitation as well. You can create whatever you think. whatever you want to communicate to your user. It can be a small loading animation, or it can be a concept explanation animation, or if you want to give a product tour to your users, everything can be done in loading. Okay, only thing is, um, we need to be careful on what sort of technique we use, and that is also not a big limitation. So whatever you think, whatever you want to do, you can do it. One thing is, everything needs to be vector. That is not a limitation. That is a I'm telling that to have the file size in control. Okay, so apart from that, you can use raster graphics also, but to keep your file size in control, have it as vectors. Vector animation, whatever you think, create it on After Effects, ship it to your product. Okay, can be a interaction animation. Okay, one thing, yeah. So the staging animation I discussed, right? We can choreograph elements, how it comes into the stage and how it goes out. That we can't do it in lotting, because we don't have much control on each and every element on the UI. That we can't do it. We can't pull in live data and we can't animate that. Okay, through because when it comes to mobile app or web application, we will get data from different APIs, right? So that thing we can't do. We can't do dynamic stuffs. Rather than, if it is a static stuff and you want to convey something, or convey a concept or some sort of time processing, then you have full freedom of whatever you want to do. Okay, only thing is, you can't do much with real data.
Wow, and I think, yep, I that is a really good. I thought like there is one question. After Effects is the only tool for animation, or they. Yep, we have this question from Sami Khan from audience. Like After Effect is the only tool for animation, or there are more for Lottie.
So, see, here the limitation what we are talking is what the traditional animator has. Okay, there are other small tools available to create SVG animations. Okay, those are just as tools. Not, we can't call it as a software. Those are just a tools where we can manipulate something and we can create some animation. When it comes to After Effects, it is like you are creating the animation. You are making the animation in the traditional way. There are two tools to make such animation. One is After Effects and Animate CC. So which is Flash. Now it's turned to Animate CC. We can use these tools to so okay, these are the two professional softwares available to create animation. When you have access to After Effects, then no limitation for it. There are other small tools, but that has some sort of limitations in creating SVG animation. You can look for SVG animators. There are multiple tools available where you will import some SVG and make some tweaks to it and make it look like some animation. You can't build a concept, or you can't create any animation right from scratch. That can be done only in After Effects or in Animate CC.
Oh wow, this is really good then. So we have one more doubt from chat. It's from Videndra. Is there any duration limit for the animation creating using Lottie?
No duration limit. You can have it. So if you want to have a whole 1 minute or a 2 minute animation, yeah, you can have it. There is no limitation for it. No limit, no time limit for having a Lottie animation. So if your timeline is for 1,000 frames or 2,000 frames, you can render all 2,000 frames into a Lottie file. No limitation and no load dependencies on that. You can have it for any time duration.
Yeah, folks. So just paste your doubts on like chat box, raise it. We are here for next 5 minutes more. Till then, well, I have some questions from the form itself, like folks have earlier asked. So
Yeah.
one doubt was how to plan for an animation. Like this was a very good doubt, and I was also thinking of the same thing. Like how you amazing motion folks plan for animation. Is there any strategy or something?
Okay, so one strategy is don't have animation for the sake of having animation. Don't do that.
Oh,
Okay, animation will demand for it. It will ask for it. Okay, so only then keep an animation. When it asks for it, it tells you the strategy. Okay, one thing is, don't add something or don't push something into your build. Okay, that can be your small loading animation, that is fine. But when it comes to conceptual animation, don't force something. Okay, try to be in your concept, try to in line with your product, try to be in line with the ideology what you have in your product, your missions and visions. Okay, on that basis you create your animation. As I said, animation will ask for it. When it asks for it, it will comes up with the strategies. Okay, for example, I'm telling you. Okay, so there is a let's take a scenario. There is a booking happening. You are trying to book a movie ticket. Okay, and movie ticket booking is taking some time. You want some sort of animation to kill the time, or you want to reduce the perception of waiting for from your user. What you can do, you can translate the actual process into your animation. What is the actual process? Fund goes from your wallet to book my show or something. Book my show is receiving it. You can show something is moving from your wallet to book my show. From book my show, it is moved to the theater guys. So you can show something is moving towards the theater guys. And once the theater guy received it, it's success. So you can show this, or you can translate the actual process into animation. Done.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Now
so
I got.
that's it. So that it asks for it. It asks for animation because it's time taking, and it asks for it. And when it asks for it, it comes up with the strategy.
Hmm.
Okay, and ourselves we need to choreograph it in some interesting way. Okay, so what we see is, I'm not telling that's a great animation, that's a very bad animation I created, but because of the time crunch. See, it just a small circle grows up and goes down. Just by offsetting the frame, we are creating some rhythm there, right? Animation is all about rhythm. Try to create that rhythm. With that rhythm, if you make something, that will always looks great.
Wow. Sure. Like we'll make sure. Like when I start with After Effects, I'll make sure to make rhythm as we
Yeah.
do on our song.
So okay, be a dancer, choreograph your skills. Okay,
Yes.
so have that
So
dance mindset. We will get the rhythm within us.
yep. So folks, if you have any doubts, feel free to ping. And I think we'll be taking one more. We can take whale, right? We can
Yeah,
take one question.
yeah, 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 sure.
Okay. So yeah. So one of the questions, like when and when not to use Lottie animations.
Okay, so good question. So, uh, when not to use Lottie animation? Okay, so when you talk about animation, and if you want to have it, then definitely you can use Lottie animation in all scenarios. Okay, when you want to have or you want to play with the real time data, there
Hmm.
we can't use Lottie. Okay, and not advisable also to use Lottie. Okay, at the time we don't have any other go. We need to depend on animated SVGs. We need to ask our developers to create that animation. Okay, apart from that place, I already said, right, staging we can't do. We can't bring in elements or position it. That we can't
Hmm.
do it in Lottie. Okay,
Yeah.
apart from those two, whatever you want to have, you can have it. We can do it in Lottie. Only thing is we can't play with real data. We can't play with UI elements. Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Sure. So I think with this, we are end of the session. Thank you so much, Will, for coming to today's session. As
Okay.
much as I enjoyed, I hope so my community and other who watched the stream enjoyed too. So any question, like anything for audience?
Okay, guys, I had a great timing. So most of it was a theory session. I don't make you feel bored. I try to have it as an by explaining it with some interesting factors to you. So I hope all you guys enjoyed the session. So we'll catch up again with another interesting session. I will try to make that as more practical session of creating fascinating animations. We have something. If you have any ideas, you can share it in the comments, or you can connect with Vibo. Okay, and ask for anything, we can convert that into another live stream sessions. Okay,
So
thank you guys.
folks,
Thanks for the support.
you have this. Like Will is coming again very soon for Lottie Raipur. So make sure to drop the topic, whatever you want on the animation, so that Will can prepare and just give you like we'll have having them. I really enjoyed talking with him and for the session. Hope so you all too, because he explained things so well. Well explained things so well. Rhyming.
Thank you.
Sorry, I know I'm very bad at jokes.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this, we are at end. We'll be ending today's session. Thank you everyone for coming. Special thanks to Will. Special thanks to Joe for at back and managing us and helping us for everything. So and the whole Lottie Files team. So with this, if you are very curious, like what Lottie Rappers do, I want to be part of Lottie Rapper. Feel free to scan this QR and come to our group. We discuss about design. We we try like on weekends we have some session. So yeah, and I'm too planning some sessions for the community. So we'll be having them soon. So make sure to connect there and see you. And if you have any doubts, feel free to reach out to me, Lottie community for anything or related to motion or design you have. So it's Vaibhav signing off for today's meet. Bye bye.